thou shalt not do stupid things and then blame someone else or some company for your own stupidity. Voting for what you as an individual feel is the right thing. There's a point where you have to stand up and take care of yourself. Why can't we secure our borders? They don't want to address the real problem. We were providing health care, room and board for someone the state's going to execute. I just happen to think that we as a country, as a people, and as individuals, we can do a little bit better. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Bougie Side. I was watching one of the many news channels cable has to offer, and I saw a piece about the Ten Commandments and how different interest groups are trying to have them removed from government buildings. It said that by having the Ten Commandments displayed in government buildings, there's no separation between church and state. And honestly, I'm trying to figure out what's the big deal about the Ten Commandments in the courthouse. Is it the religious implication that's stirring everybody up? Or is it that we just realize that as a society, I think we've determined that we can't live by these rules and we've just given up? The American Civil Liberties Union has filed a large number of lawsuits demanding that the Ten Commandments be removed from public buildings, including our nation's courthouses. Now, I'm not attacking the ACLU because I usually go along with what they have to say in regards to rights and fairness. Now, I pulled this piece that I'm about to say to you from their website. It's their mission statement, and here's how it reads. It says, the mission of the ACLU is to preserve all of these protections and guarantees. Your First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, association, and assembly, freedom of the press, and freedom of religion, supported by the strict separation of church and state. Now, I think I understand what the ACLU is trying to do in regards to the separation of church and state. I think it makes sense. And it's a pretty good idea to keep the separation, is to protect the judicial, the executive, and the legislative processes from religious bias. However, what better place to list a set of rules that should govern the way we treat each other than in our government buildings? So if we kept the rules and removed the religious tone, would that be acceptable? Some say that some of the rules aren't so bad, but that they have too much of a religious tone. Now, I'm sorry, guys, when I look at some of the things that are happening in this country and I watch the news at night, I think that sometimes we do need a little more religion. Should our sense of right and wrong change with the times? Has it changed already? The way our society is going, we won't need the Ten Commandments in front of the courthouse anyway. We have pretty much found a way to ignore or even beat them in the courts. I try to take an objective approach at reading the Ten Commandments, well, as much as possible, and try to compare with what we're doing as a country. Now, the first three are specifically and undeniably rooted in religion and define how to worship as a Christian. You can't argue that. However, the Ten Commandments they've been passed down through the ages as a rule book for general living. So that's how I looked at it. When I was finished, I saw we're in really bad shape. If you want to call it morals, religion, or just the ability to do the right thing, we are in horrible shape. And I say we because we're all a part of this wonderful machine called the United States of America. So we're all in it together and we're all stuck, so we all need to figure a way to fix it together. Now, here's my real question. Are these rules so bad? Is it really that bad to follow the Ten Commandments? Here's another question. Do you know or remember them? Well, let's see. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have any strange gods before me. Thou shalt not take the name of thy Lord God in vain. It's the pen, the bishop. Remember, thou keep holy the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods or his house. We need to help protect and support the people that defend and protect us. You take the money away from your own kids to rebuild someone else's country. How can a convicted criminal have it better than the ordinary working person? The U.S. right now is so determined to include everyone, it forgets the people who are here. Somehow the brightest minds in government thought of this plan. Has anyone from the White House or Congress taken a look at minority test scores? Make no mistake. I think the United States is the best country on the planet.